So what do we need to look out for and possibly avoid during menopause? Well, the first thing I've already mentioned is stress. So the more stress that we are susceptible to, the more stressful situations we put ourselves in, the more likely we are to have detrimental effects on our body, regardless of whether you're going through menopause or not. So extra important to look out for stress and stress factors in your life. One of the things that I think is really important as well is if you do have a stressful life and there are certain things you can't change, you've still got to deal with certain stuff. You have external stresses that you have no control over, but you still have to deal with. It's just making sure you have a safe space for you to take yourself out of that and process it. So looking out for stress and making sure you have strategies to look after yourself if you're subject to stress that you can't do much about. Second thing is, and yeah, it's coming, it's a bit boring, I know, alcohol and diet. Diet, I mean not as in you have to go on a low-fat diet or whatever, but actually look at what you're putting in your diet. So I don't eat sugar at all, refined sugar. My body decided it didn't like it about 10 years ago. And I stopped eating it. And actually, every time, if I try and eat it again now, or if I eat it by accident, I feel absolutely terrible. So spike your energy levels. So yes, they might support you and give you energy and you might feel good afterwards, but then your energy levels will drop straight down again. And that decline makes us feel a bit tired, a bit grumpy. And if you're already feeling a bit unbalanced because of your estrogen levels or your hormones are unbalanced, it's not going to make you feel any better. The other thing is, if you eat sugar before you go to bed, sugary fast release foods, your body will slump whilst you're asleep. Then your body says, oh, I think I need to wake Alison up because she needs some more food. She's running low on sugar in her blood. So then adrenaline is released. You wake up. The adrenaline also kickstarts a little hot flush for you if you're lucky too. So then you move into, and it's quite a big thing, we don't often consider it actually because we can't actually see it, is your thyroid health. So as I've said already, your brain discusses things with your gut. And then if your brain is happy and it's releasing the right hormones, then you will have a relatively healthy thyroid. But if it's not, it can affect your thyroid. And then if your thyroid isn't throwing out the right kind of signals and the right kind of chemicals, then that's going to change how you absorb cholesterol and your cholesterol balance. It's going to change how you use body fat for energy. If your thyroid is healthy, it promotes neural development and good bone growth, and just has an overall positive effect on your metabolic rate, on your energy levels, which then affect your moods. So thyroid health. And I just want you to tap back into that thought that your gut talks to your brain, and now add the thing in that your brain talks to your thyroid. So we're getting a little bit of a cyclical thing here where we're wanting to work together and help each other out. Third thing, and this is something I see a lot in menopausal women, is overtraining. So we get that some of us get that middle-aged spread. I've got it, I'm fairly active. I eat well. I don't eat refined sugar. I have a fairly low-fat diet. I eat fats, but good fats. But I've seen the change. I have a little bit of a midriff now. And a lot of women see this and they think, oh, I didn't have this when I was 20 or 30. And then they go crazy on the really intense training. So they'll do circuits and boot camp and they'll do 3 hours back to back. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to burn my belly fat. But actually, it doesn't work, because what are you doing when you're doing that high level of intense activity is you're stimulating your cortisol levels again. Your body is going into fight or flight. It's sending all the nutrients and everything into emergency services of your body. It's saying, don't worry about burning the body fat. Let's use stuff we've got ready that's quick and easy to access. So overtraining, big thing in menopausal women. You'd be much better off doing some HIIT training, and I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit later. So here comes the bit you've been waiting for, how we help ourselves. So the first thing, and it's no surprise that I'm going to say this, is reduce your stress levels. Having listened to that last slide when I was telling you everything that stress does to our bodies, it's really important that first of all, we identify what stresses us out. So, and then when we identify it, if it helps, just write yourself down a list and then just go through what you can deal with. Okay, what you can change, and the stuff you can't change, maybe start to give yourself a strategy to deal with it. So having your safe space, as I said, where you can go and decompress, you can sit, you can chill, you can breathe. It might be in your house, might be in your garden, but it's your quiet time where you can go and process the event. So, and when I say process, I mean just let it go. Let go of the moment, let go of the stress, breathe. It might be that you do some breathing practice to help you. You might meditate. You might just scream. Whatever you do, find your way of processing your stress, letting it go. And by doing that, that's going to allow our bodies to be happier and healthier and heal. Now, the next thing below, inflammation, is also linked to stress, funny enough. So if you can reduce your stress levels, you can reduce the level of inflammation in your body. Now, part of the hormonal process, your body does release some more inflammatory factors, some inflammatory chemicals in your body. So aside of the inflammation that you might have from stress, then you've got your menopause chemical changes creating a little bit more inflammation. And then we've also got the external stuff that we put in our bodies. So stuff that you put in your diet, like sugar, caffeine, and alcohol, can all be very inflammatory. Some people find gluten. For me, if I eat gluten, my tummy just blows out like a balloon. So think about what you're putting in your body. I'll be honest, I could eat anything and everything in my 20s, pretty much. It's only when I kind of moved into my 30s, I realized I didn't really like my body didn't really like dairy. And then about 10 years ago, I discovered actually my body really hates gluten now. So, and I've cut those things out, not because I want to do some kind of faddy diet, but actually because I feel better for it. And people say, do you want to try eating them again? And wouldn't it be nice to have them back in your diet? Well, actually, I'm happy eating what I'm eating and I feel good for it. So think about what you're putting in your body that could cause that inflammation in terms of food. Think about what you're putting in your body in terms of stress, and give your body the best chance. We've talked about the gut a little bit, but here's where it gets really important, is optimizing your gut biome as well. So